But I want to tell you this. Around the same time, the Devil's Triangle began to truly get its name. Because between 1950 and 1954, several Japanese fishing and cargo vessels, as well as military aircraft, were lost in that very area, leading the Japanese government to temporarily declare it a danger zone, hence the Dragon Sea.
That ancient Chinese mirror shows you what's on the back of the mirror. Yeah, no, these are real. Is it transparent, metal? What are we looking at? Because these are 2,000-year-old mirrors created by the Han Dynasty. These are the same dudes that made 8,000 terracotta soldiers, covered them in quantum paint, and then buried them. Something was going on in this time that I don't really think that we can fully grasp.
There you are, and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be diving into all sorts of mysterious and strange videos no one can explain. Hit that like and subscribe button, and let's dive in. The truth about the deodorant industry. What is going on here?
Every woman who uses deodorant needs to hear this. You spray it, swipe it, forget about it. But right under your arms, that's where your lymph nodes live, the gateway to your immune system. Most deodorants are filled with aluminum, synthetic fragrance, even BHT, a chemical link, and banned in some countries. These ingredients don't just stay on the surface. Your armpits have ultra-absorbent skin, and they lead straight into your bloodstream, and the worst part, you don't feel a thing.
So what exactly are we supposed to use besides deodorant? I know some people would say, oh, that's why you got to get your pH right, because if your pH in your body's right, it won't smell. Well, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Dragon sightings. Oh, this one's going to be exciting.
Welcome back to another episode of If I Go Missing, You Know Why. Today I'm going to continue forward with where I left off yesterday, telling you things that are happening in our oceans right now that your government is completely leaving you in the dark over. Over the past couple of days, I've been telling you some very important things about the Devil's Triangle, otherwise known as the Dragon's Triangle, or also known as the Pacific's Bermuda Triangle. I also shared with you in this same area the Godzilla Megamullion, which is literally named after Godzilla, and it names every single body part from top to bottom, such as the leg ridge, tail rise, east leg ridge, west hip bone rise, north tail rise, hip bone rise, etc., etc., etc. I also told you the importance of Fukushima and its radiation leak right there in the same exact area. But the things I'm going to tell you today should truly knock your socks off. As you know, I told you the importance of Hiroshima and Nagasaki compared to a handful of military personnel. I also shared with you guys the importance of knowing that Godzilla itself was created in the middle of all this and was named after a real-life event of Lucky Dragon number 5 and the Bikini Atoll proving ground.
What?
But I want to tell you this. Around the same time, the Devil's Triangle began to truly get its name. Because between 1950 and 1954, several Japanese fishing and cargo vessels, as well as military aircraft, were lost in that very area, leading the Japanese government to temporarily declare it a danger zone, hence the Dragon Sea. While some attributes this to the paranormal activity of electromagnetic anomalies, fun fact, according to movies and folklore, when an electromagnetic field is caused and open randomly and cause a disruption in your magnetic poles, a portal's been opened. And fun fact, one of the most famous losses is the Lucky Dragon number 5 I was telling you about. That happened right in the middle of all of it in 1952. But that ain't nothing. Listen to everything that I'm about to present to you if you think a coincidence is truly a coincidence. According to ancient Japanese legends, in the year 1000 BC, there was a dragon who lived off the coast of Japan, so it was called the Dragon Triangle. This dragon can spray fire like volcanic eruptions. When there were boats crossing the sea, the dragon sank and killed the sailors. That's the legend. Well, guess what happened literally in 1945 on the dot? In 1945, the U.S. Navy Special Fleet of 200 fighters was swept off the deck in aircraft carrier, and 765 sailors went missing in the...
Wow. Is this a dragon attack receipt? Oh my god.
That same area called the Devil's Sea. 1952, Japanese government dispatch number 5, Kaimaru, which means lucky dragon, and you have 31 crew to explore the mysteries in the sea, and they left without ever coming back. And where did they go? The Devil's Triangle. And then check out this sighting in 1957 in the Dragon's Triangle. You have a captain and sailor suddenly see two objects glistening with silver light with wings more than 10 meters in diameter, like disc metal falling from the sky and falling right into the water not far from the ship.
Guys, that lines up with dragons being gold plated. There's a theory that dragons are melting gold, dipping themselves in gold, and that's how they're able to fly. Because gold is conductive, and we all know what's in the atmosphere when you get high up. Ether. Are dragons using the gold or whatever metallic that they're surrounded in with their scales and flying in the ether? So from these eyewitness accounts, them saying a metal falling from the sky, it kind of lines up, doesn't it? Were dragons conducting the ether? Is that how they were able to fly? This is insane.
Following that, on the sea suddenly was a big wave. Then, by 1981, you have this ship off the coast of the East China Sea, same area, that was discovered a circular object with a diameter of about 200 meters. Blue light from the sea flashed up, making the sea rise. Once again, fun fact, Godzilla flashes a blue light of plasma radiation from his mouth. So does Leviathan in your Bible, flashes lightning from its mouth. But I think this one's pretty crazy here. Look, by 1980, you have this ship, which is the largest ship of the British. And it's even dubbed the unsinkable ship. Well, that ship went missing without a trace in the Devil's Triangle when carrying 160,000 tons of iron ore from Canada to Kawasaki, Japan. But guess what's happening right now, April 20th of 2026? Japan is assessing Subsea threat landscape, and they are doing some pretty crazy things about it. Check this out. So, last year, you have Japan launching their private Japanese observing satellite, in which they are scanning the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, and they call it the Sea God Sees. Wow. And they launched this thing at 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, here's a fun fact for you. In the movie Pacific Rim, it was actually talked about and discussed right in the movie about their massive orbital and coastal tracking arrays via satellites, in which they were tracking the Jaegers, and the Jaegers were coming out of a specific area. And I also think it's very wild that we also have our own orbital system called a dragnet.
It was the Kaiju that was coming out of the abyssal rifts in Pacific Rim. Those giant monsters, the Godzillas, they fighting the Kaijus. I know, that's one of my favorite movies. Oh my God. And the Jaegers is what they use to fight the monsters. That's pretty cool.
A dragon net for catching a dragon, and it's deployed specifically for mapping the energy shifts occurring on the ocean floor. Same exact thing Japan is doing with their tracking system. And remember, the Kaiju in Pacific Rim, they came from a certain area called the Breach, which was literally known as the Mariana Trench. And guess where the Mariana Trench is? Well, there's the Devil's Triangle, and at the edge of the Devil's Triangle is the Mariana Trench. But hey, maybe all of that and this is a big old coincidence. Welcome back.
This might be my favorite new channel. This might be my favorite new reactor, man. He's been dropping bangers beyond the veil. I don't know where to begin. From a metallic dragon falling out the sky The Pacific Rim connection? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. China literally scanning the bottom of the ocean. That's what we should have been doing. You know, they sending all these rockets out that does a giant U and falls right back in the ocean anyway. How about we get some research done that we can actually use? All right. All right, guys, before we get into the specimen of the day, what does it really take to get these specimens of the day? Take a look at this.
Go!
Get out of there, Uncle! Hurry up, Uncle! Hurry up!
Yo.
Yo, what these specimens of the day is not easy. If you thought I wasn't gonna hit you with another excellent specimen of the day, think again, bucko. Jason. I love it. I already know where I'm going with this one. I think we all are thinking the same thing. Blueberry. That's got to be in the name. But looking at this is Yindu's purple phantom with clear quartz with yellow mica found in Inner Mongolia. You saw how deep he had to go to get, man, you know, it's not easy getting these specimens. And you gotta polish it up, man. All right, the rating I'm gonna give this a 9.3. And I'm gonna call this the blueberry muffin slice. 9.3 blueberry muffin slice. I want you guys to put your rating and the name you will call this specimen in the comments below. Oh man, well, this is cool. It's almost like the quartz was like injected with like some type of purple iodine, but this is how it naturally comes out. How extraordinary, the deep purples that form into the blue. Pretty.
That ancient Chinese mirror shows you what's on the back of the mirror. Yeah, no, these are real. Is it transparent, metal? What are we looking at? Because these are 2,000-year-old mirrors created by the Han Dynasty. These are the same dudes that made 8,000 terracotta soldiers, covered them in quantum paint, and then buried them. Something was going on in this time that I don't really think that we can fully grasp. Astronomically aligned pyramids, just threw them up, put their whole calendar on these things. Sometimes they were cymatics, which these are sick. Huge part of temple culture everywhere. You could put rocks in the ground and like record the frequency in a pattern of the earth or birds chirping or your voice chanting stuff. All right. How do they work? So they're regular mirrors, but they're a little convex. But to the naked eye, you just can't see what's really going on. This thing is a piece of glass, but the internal crystal lattice of the glass has been warped so that a hologram appears on the wall. Kind of a similar concept with the mirrors. Except they use micro dents in the metal to create warping of how the light gets reflected. What this does is it draws out a picture using shadows. So what you're seeing on the shadow is light getting focused into these lines, and then the gaps are the shadows. This creates the picture. Egypt also used tricks like this where hieroglyphs could be projected onto each other within the temple. This vehicle called the Merkaba, every human had one, where you could explore the realms of consciousness in a multi-dimensional way. The Tibetan equivalent is called the Rainbow Light Body. Both were used as tools to kind of break reality a little bit. The lengths that these guys went to teach this stuff, insane. Must have been really important.
Now that is fascinating. Almost like they had holographic technology back in the day using these crystals somehow. This is fascinating. You know how they say there's nothing new under the sun? What if this was their way of, you know, using disc and whatnot, like how we use DVDs and stuff? What if they had that back in the day? Is the vibes I'm getting. And then the terracotta warriors getting painted with quantum paint. They were on one. And you know the emperor was surrounded by Mercury. You know, what did he see that was so special about Mercury that made him go so hard and surround himself with Mercury? Uh-oh, they didn't found y'all boy Usher. Shapeshifting. Let's take a closer look, see what happened. Kind of looks like Future a little bit, doesn't it? Get off me. Look at the eyes. What is going on here? He threw those shades on quick, or was it just me?
So continuing with my Sedona series here, I'm flying in a private plane to show you guys just the extent of the petrification and just the alternate timeline of Sedona, rather than showing the current historical narrative that claims all of this is from lava. So my current opinion is that all of this is a petrified civilization, and that all of this was formed instantly, not through, you know, millions of years of lava erosion. And there's tons of anomalies and things that shouldn't be in Sedona that don't line up with the official narrative. And here's just some amazing footage that I have of what I believe to be the petrified city of Sedona. And you have things called, you know, Courthouse Butte, like this one. You have Cathedral Rock in this video as well. And there's just some really crazy formations everywhere. And I don't believe any of these are from lava. Lava doesn't form symmetrical mountains. I don't believe that. Lava doesn't form literally millions of perfect 90-degree blocks that go miles high and miles wide. So I don't think there's accuracies there. And you can see all of the petrified statues as well. There's a lot of people that are into, you know, finding the faces and the mountains and stuff, and those are everywhere in Sedona.
This guy's pretty cool.
And really, the deeper you go, the more mysteries that you come across and the more things that really don't make sense. And there's really a lot to explore. Sedona is much bigger than just the tiny little town in the middle of it. And you know I have to bring an origami pyramid to protect from the solar energies up while on the plane, because it's definitely not as safe to be on a plane nowadays. This is the back of Thunder Mountain here in Sedona, and then you can even see petrified pillars in some of these as well, and spires that have been petrified as well. And there's just so many different things to explore and different angles to look at. There's hundreds of these rock formations all around Sedona. In the next video, I'm going to show you guys Pyramid Mountain, which is right at the end of this video. Here you can see it next to Bell Rock.
There it is, Pyramid Mountain. You can see why they call it that.
And I'll be doing videos on a lot of these monuments and places specifically. I have some super crazy footage, so stay tuned for the next videos.
All right, this next one says, Colosseums, do we really believe what the official narrative says?
They've been lying to you about the Colosseum your entire life. You were taught it was built for gladiator fights and entertainment, but that's not even close to the truth. Think about this. The Colosseum holds 80,000 people. It had 80 entrances, a retractable roof, and a fully functional underground plumbing system in 70 AD, before electricity, before modern engineering. Does that sound like something built just to watch people fight? But here is where it gets interesting. The Colosseum could be completely flooded within minutes. Ancient Roman records describe naval battles staged inside the arena with full-sized warships. They called it Naumachia. So why does no one talk about this? Here's where it gets even darker. Some researchers now believe the Colosseum was never originally built by Rome at all. The construction techniques used, the hydraulic systems, the precision stonework, are identical to structures found in the Tartarian Empire, structures that predate Rome by thousands of years. Rome may have simply inherited it. Look at the foundation. The underground tunnels beneath the Colosseum are so advanced that modern engineers still can't fully explain them, and the original name, the Flavian Amphitheater, was quietly replaced. Why rename something unless you're hiding who really built it? History is written by the winners, and the winners always erase the builders. Follow for more of what they don't teach you.
Wow, this last image is creepy. That is terrifying, actually. Looks like Ivan Ooze from Power Rangers. But the Colosseum is a mystery. Believe it or not, I heard this was like an ancient aquifer. Like there was something to do with it being a complete dome, because as we see it now, it's like half of a dome. But at one time it was completely covered. It was something to do with the technology that would harness water out of thin air. It's just a crazy theory, but I do remember coming across it.
Guys, I just bought this old Bible. Holy Bible, Freemasonry Bible. It's really cool. It was published actually in 1891, but it's a family Bible, which is really neat. So you can see these cool graphics and everything, but look at that. You got old maps. They talk about botany and animals. This is so cool. It's got the gold edging to the pages. But this thing is a beast. Look at the size of this. Guys, I just bought this old Bible.
Interesting. I wonder what else they put in there. Standing proudly over 3,400 years old, the Colossi of Memnon are two massive statues that once guarded the entrance to a temple of kings. This is in Luxor, Egypt. Seeing a clip about this video, and they said at one time early in the morning, one of these used to whistle until they patched it up, and it doesn't make a noise, but it used to make a noise. I think it like 500 years ago. So people been visiting these statues forever. I want to see what it looked like when it first was created. That's all we got for today's video. If you enjoyed this one, be sure to leave that like and be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. If you want to keep seeing these videos pop up, helps out the algorithm. And I just want to say thank you guys for hanging out with me. Code word for today, almost forgot. The code word for today is underwater dragon. Drop underwater dragon in the comments below. That lets me know you're real and you made it all the way to the end of the video. You know, I truly love you guys, and this was the most mysterious TikToks on the internet today that no one can explain. See you later.